He's on top of me, and we're in pure ecstasy, not to brag. And he starts working his way down, and he starts going at it. And first it's pretty light and gentle, fine. And then it starts to get this like piece of fruit stuck in the smoothie straw kind of thing where it's and I was like, oh my god. Oh my god, like stop. Like you're gonna rip my fucking nipple off. And he's I think I got a little milk. So I just got back from the doctor, and he gave me a little goodie bag. And he's like, oh, one thing that not a lot of people know is that condoms actually expire. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'd hate for them to go to waste, so I guess I gotta use them. So my mom, she called me, and she was like a little upset on the phone. And I was like, Mom, like I could hear from her voice. I was like, Mom, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. It's just hard now that her and my dad are empty nesters. She's like, I really want grandkids now, but it doesn't seem like me or any of my brothers are gonna have grandkids. So she was like, I really wish like there was something to do or occupy her time. And I was like, Mom, don't worry. Like I am trying my hardest to get pregnant. I'm trying really, really hard, but it just hasn't been successful yet. I just haven't gotten a positive pregnancy test back. But don't worry, I'm trying maybe like 3, 4, 5 times a week. I know you want grandkids. This morning, I'm rushing out of my apartment, putting a new air freshener in the wall so that way when I come home, it smells good. And I come home from work, and tell me why my whole apartment smells like a goddamn funeral parlor. It smells like fresh death. Just, someone donated this lovely bouquet of flowers for poor Miss Dead. It smells kind of nice, but not what I was expecting. I wanted the place to like smell fresh and good and uplifting, but no, my whole apartment just now smells like a funeral parlor. Today at work, this woman, she's pushing her oxygen tank, I kid you not, sicky in her hand, and right in front of my face. And she goes, the rooms are a little dry. And I was like, well, number 1, we're in the desert. Number 2, it's wintertime. Number 3, do you want like a room with a leak in it? Because I'm sure I'd be able to find you one. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, it wasn't really the best experience for us. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but if you did find that the rooms were dry, we actually do have humidifiers to send up to your room. That way, you have a bit better of an experience. And she goes, and housekeeping never came. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Did you let someone of our team know, like, when you came into your room after the day that they didn't come to service? No, we're paying to be here. Why do I gotta call, and I got here at the desk, and I gotta... And I was like, oh, I am so sorry, ma'am. But next time you stay with us, make sure to let us know, and we'd be more than happy to send a humidifier up to your room. And for the inconvenience, I'll be more than happy to take a resort fee off of your reservation. Thank you. I had the most humbling experience today. I'm at the grocery store to go grocery shopping, and as I'm walking into the store, I see this elderly woman
putting a handful of stuff into her back car, and she also has a large case of water as well. And I'm walking by and I'm like, do you need any help? And she's like, yeah, I do. So I help her out. I put some of the stuff in her car, and then I take her carriage or her car and I, use it in the store. Then as I'm leaving the store, I put my groceries in my car. I put away my cart. And then there's this older gentleman who is just finishing putting groceries away in his car. And I'm like, hey, I'll take your cart for you. And I don't know, just feels good to do good.
To start, yes, that's my closet is messy. I'm sorry. If you have ever worked in Las Vegas, been in Las Vegas, or anything with Las Vegas, you know that there are casinos. And so casino guests are like little ducklings. You have to be very careful with how you treat them, how you talk to them, because they're these precious little things. They could grow up into these wonderful, beautiful ducks, essentially, really profitable for the casino. Or things can go horribly wrong and they die and we lose their business. So you have to be delicate with these duckling casino guests. Today I was in guest services because, I'm versatile. And this gentleman calls and he's like, I'm a multi-millionaire bettor in Vegas. And I was like, well, that's funny because I don't know your name. And I tried looking it up and still nothing. And he's like, I usually stay at this one resort. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, guess what? We are not that resort. So he's like, can you get me connected with the host? And if you know anything about the casino is I can get you connected with a host, but first you have to have a host. If not, we're going to talk to you in person and pretty much in person only. Just because we're not going to waste our time on someone who thinks they're the big wig when really they have no wig. And so I talked to my VIP team. I'm like, hey, there's this multi-millionaire bettor that I have on the phone. He wants to talk with someone about a reservation for Super Bowl that's coming up. And they're like, well, does he have a player card? And I was like, no, he hasn't even enrolled in a player card yet. And they're like, well, we really can't even assist him until we get a player information. From there, they can go ahead because essentially a player system looks at all other systems. So if you're at one casino, we pretty much know if you're viable for our casino or not, so on and so forth. Little secret for you. And essentially, VIP team told me, hey, just tell the guest, enroll in a program, and then give us a call back. And so I was like, okay, how do I formulate this to the guest? And so essentially, I was like, hi, Mr. Multimillionaire Bigwig. My team informed me that you do need to enroll for our rewards program to best assist you. That way we have all of your information. And he goes, just connect me with the host. And I said, I do understand your frustration, but it would be hard for them to assist you if we don't have any of your information. Line dropped. Like, bruh, we would have been more than happy to help you and book your reservation and comp you if, yeah, everything was true. But no, you were so arrogant, you just dropped the call on us. I do not get some of these people. We would have treated him very good because I know how we treat our guests. But clearly, if you're not going to treat us right, then you're not worth it. I'm the kind of person where when I go out and about, I want to look good. I want to be friendly. I want to be nice. I want to be approachable. I don't know. I'm going out. I'm going to the store, to a restaurant, to the mall, whatnot. I want to be a friendly face. However, I am starting to believe I'm the only person who thinks like this because I love going to the store, smiling at people, saying hello to people, good morning, good afternoon. I'm that kind of person. And I guess society has kind of shifted to this, we all stay in our own lane, we don't really talk to each other. But why is that the case? Because I really don't like that. Because it's boring and it's not interesting. And one thing that I love about life is smiling and being nice to other people. But no one else is like this anymore. Everyone's just so sad and grumpy. And when you ask for help or ask how they're doing, they don't respond. It's, I don't know, it's disappointing. So you know how cars have rear view mirrors and you can, see the car behind you? Well, today I was, for some reason, paying attention to it a lot. On my way home from work, I'm just driving through the lights and then
stopping at the lights, obviously. And, I'm looking at this gentleman behind me in the car. And not like looking at him for a prolonged amount of time, but noticing things, noticing that he was alone in the car. And then all of a sudden, I notice a woman pick her head up from that side of the car. And she then, snuggles back into the passenger seat. She looked delighted, and he was driving a bit erratically, to say the least. So I don't know what was going on.
So last night, a friend of mine and we went out to a few gay bars. First one was pretty chill, good time. First time I've ever been to a gay bar, actually. It was not as bad as I was thinking. And then second bar, we were like, hey, let's just go. And so we walked in, and RuPaul's Drag Race is playing on every TV. And so it's like a watch party, essentially. And the whole night is like hosted by a drag queen. I'm not really a RuPaul person. He's not either. But, we're in that setting. So we just kind of watch it. We're laughing. It's a good time. And so then the episode of RuPaul's Drag Race ends. And the drag queen's like, okay, now it's time for me to perform. And so Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande comes on. And everyone starts pulling out their cash. And both of us are like, oh my God, we didn't know that we didn't have cash, like, at all. And so, everyone's putting it down the bosom and everything. And the drag queen comes over to us, and she's like, Rain on me, like, trying to get us to put a tip in there. And I was like, like, it was so, I felt so bad. But respectfully, she said she used to be on RuPaul's Drag Race, but I think she was, like, probably one of the first people eliminated.
But any dates that I have going now onward are going to be subject to a 24-hour cancellation fee. $50 for some, $100 for others, dependent on how much I like them. But I think it's something that should actually be practiced. If you're planning a date and you're going on that date and you reserve a time slot mentally for that date, if you cancel within 24 hours, I should be compensated accordingly. And not to say that my time is worth money, but my time is worth money. Kind of. Anyways, I would like to get paid for being inconvenienced as well as disheartened a little bit. Girl math is cutting your pizza into tiny little slices. That way it feels like you're eating more. I just got up and look at my hair. Look at my hair. It has never looked like this before. It's kind of cute. I kind of like it. Oh my God. Technology is a curse and a blessing. And I think we all know that. I just went to go get my hair cut. Nothing crazy, just simple. But I go in there, and at the counter, it's a tablet for me to self-serve, select the option I want, disclose the amount of money, and pay before I even get my haircut. And I just kind of was looking at the tablet like, because I made an appointment online, and it didn't know that. So one of the people had to come over, and she's like, oh yeah, this is something new we're trying out. And I said to her, because since I'm in hospitality, I'm brutally honest with this stuff. I was like, this makes it really transactional, and I hate it. And I said, I come to this place all the time, and if this is like what I'm going to be walking into every time, where I already had to create an appointment on my own because I can't call you guys anymore, and now I have to come in and register myself, where all you're doing is calling my name, sitting me down, and cutting my hair. Because also, furthermore, these people were not conversational anymore. And I know sometimes small talk is really awkward, but they should be smart enough to understand that. I was in a good mood today. I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk to them. But she was just a fucking brick. I was so upset about it. Anyways, technology, curse and a blessing, right? Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I'm over at this guy's house. We're making lunch with each other. I'm doing the meal prep, getting things ready. He's throwing on a movie and yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden, we're both like, something's burning. And he's like, oh, did you take the comforter out of the oven? And I was like, the comforter out of the oven? And he's like, yeah, did you take it out of the oven? And And I was like, no, I didn't take the comforter out of the oven. There was a comforter in the oven. I was cooking a fucking comforter in the oven. I was preheating the oven with a comforter in the oven. Why was there a comforter in the oven?
I have a massive sweet tooth. So for me to alleviate my cravings, because clearly I still have something to go, I do Greek yogurt, some protein granola, who knew that was a thing, a few chocolate chips, and some honey for dessert. It'll do, you know? Cheers. Oh yeah. So, I'm getting onto the elevator at my apartment complex, and this guy who's very attractive, like to the point where it makes me nervous because he's so attractive, is getting on. Like, we've had a few conversations, you know, elevator rides and everything with each other. But the thing is, I don't know his name, but I know it's something simple, like Eric or Jonathan, you know, something easy. And I was like, we had our conversation in the elevator, and I was like, once again, could you remind me of your name? And he's like, oh, it's Sam. And I was like, oh, Sam, that's right. I knew it was something that was super easy. And I was like, like, what was that? What did I, what? Like what? Oh, it was so embarrassing. And I was like, okay, bye, have a good day. Oh my God, it was so bad.
Don't bother. Right now, my washing machine is going psycho. Anyways, here, get under the covers with me. Listen to this. I'm at the gym, and I'm working out at this ab machine. And let me take off my glasses, too. That way I don't see my own reflection. At the ab machine, at the gym, it's a good day at the gym. I'm all hyped up. I had an energy drink, which I literally haven't had in years, so I was like, rah! And, my washing machine is finally calming down. And I'm at the ab machine, and there is this cutie patootie on the scissor lift, or not, on the Stairmaster. On the Stairmaster. And I'm like doing my little ab rotation machine, and I'm like looking up at him, and then like I stop, I break, I drink my water, I change my song, and then I go back at it, and I'm like, you know, pivoting my abs, and I just like keep peeking my head up at him to like try to make eye contact, and then he looks at his phone, and then he looks back up, and then we lock eyes, but then, you know, like we're strangers, so then our eyes go away, and then eventually I'm drinking my water, and he's drinking his water this sounds so stupid. I'm drinking my water, and he's drinking his water at the same time, and what the fudge? What is on the TV? Anyways, I'm drinking my water. He's drinking his water. And we lock eyes. But then we both look away. And I'm like, ah! Like when? So I'm going to go to the gym at the exact same time tomorrow. Which was like maybe like 12, 10 or something. To see if he was there. And then, so I stopped at the little ab machine, you know. Looking all hot and sweaty. And he's there still on the Stairmaster. And so then I go off to another machine, and I'm, you know, regretting everything that I'm doing in life. And then he walks down the stairs and leaves. Which makes sense, you know? But I was like, maybe he's gonna come talk to me. But maybe I need to have the bigger balls and say something to him. Is that gonna happen? I don't know. Cute Stairmaster boy, if you're watching this, yeah.
Just a little word of advice for those out there who use Microsoft products at work. Make sure to log off every time you're done doing what you're doing, because if not, that like secret Teams chat that you have with your friends where you're gossiping about everyone at work, especially your managers, they're gonna find out about that, especially when there's a employee who loves drama and is gonna point that out to people and make sure the managers know that you're doing something that's really wrong. Just a little tidbit. Make sure you log off, okay?
Good morning, everyone. I am going to show you how I make my authentic French cup of coffee every morning. I'm gonna first start off by filling up my mug with just the perfect amount of water, the amount that I'm gonna be drinking for my coffee. And now I'm going to be grabbing the brew of my choice. Today it's going to be a breakfast blend. The next step is I will be dispensing my water into my coffee vesicle machine. It's a very expensive piece of equipment, but it is for some of the best French coffee. The next thing to do is take your coffee space pod and plop it inside of the machine and close it. Make sure to hear that click. If not, the coffee is not going to taste right. And now the next and final step is to press the magical wizard button. You can hear it humming a little tune. And now my cup of coffee is ready. And as the French say, delicioso.
I am so happy and grateful that where I live here in Las Vegas is the epicenter of construction, road work, and traffic cones. And you know why? Because now, at 6:30 in the morning, my alarm doesn't need to go off. Because they are so generous as to waking me up in the most organic nature of... And I really appreciate the city going one step further for its residents. And yeah, so thank you, Apple. You've done me service in setting my alarms, but it is no longer needed.